Hey, my name is Joel Brown and I'm the CEO and founder of addictedtosuccess.com. And I have a question for you. And that question is, when was the first time you ever decided to commit to self-development? When you decided that you wanted to become more of yourself, that you decided that you wanted to step into your greatness. When was that first time that you decided that you wanted to become more, that you wanted to live more, that you wanted to expand your mind and open it to amazing new opportunities and to see how far you can really take this? Now, I remember the first time that this ever happened to me, and I was 7 years old. My mom had bought me a book, which was the biography. It was a picture biography of Michael Jordan's book, number 23, Michael Jordan, greatest to ever do it. Thank you. And it was called Rare Air. And it brings you into Michael Jordan's world. It shows you what it's like to be an A-list athlete, celebrity, superstar, and what it took for him to reach his levels of success. And it was absolutely amazing. It felt like he was right by my side. You know, I was 7 years old and I was just absolutely blown away with all the lessons and the advice that I learned from the book. And for me, it was really realizing that it's a lot about persistence. It's a lot about committing yourself to something bigger than yourself. It's about committing to those little energy bolts of action that you need to implement each and every day. And those little energy bolts are called habits. We like to call them habits, okay? And habits have been such a huge part of my life. That's the reason why I've been so successful throughout the years, is because I've implemented the habits. I've been persistent enough, been hanging on enough, and making sure that each and every day I'm maximizing my life with the right habits. So I have had an absolute curiosity and fascination into what are the success habits? What are those positive habits that successful high achievers implement into their life? So I set out, I interviewed hundreds of people. I've interviewed people such as Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, Joe Dispenza, Simon Sinek, Gary Vaynerchuk, hundreds of other authors, athletes, recording artists, celebrities, coaches, you name it, right? A lot of successful high achievers. And I found a pattern. And what that pattern was 7 real standout habits that were very consistent in the lives of the high achievers. So the first habit that really stood out to me was a lot of these high achievers write out their to-do list the night before. And I like to call this the tomorrow's punch list. Okay, so put your gloves on the night before, get ready for that fight the next day to knock out each and everything on that list. And the way to really tackle your to-do list from the night before is to write down in order number 1, down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many actions you have on your list, and to really write number 1 next to the most important thing on that list. And what that means is that number 1 is the task that you want to handle first thing in the morning. Once you've hydrated, once you've fueled yourself up, and make sure you stay away from like sugars, because that's a temporary rush. You'll crash pretty quickly having sugars first thing in the morning, and also heavy foods. All right, but once you fuel yourself up and you've seen a little bit of the sunlight, and you've woken your body up, you want to get into that first action, that high, heavy task, because that is when your willpower is the strongest, first thing in the morning. Okay? Willpower is like a muscle, and when it's overexerted throughout the day, it starts to weaken, and you have less self-control, and you just have less enthusiasm to get the job done. So knock out the first thing on your list, on your list that you wrote the night before. Okay? So habit number 2 is your mind, body, and soul. And this was a huge one. I would say that at least 90% of the high achievers that I interviewed have implemented some form of physical activity or something to do with the mind, resting the mind, such as like meditation, stretching, things like that, right? So typically it was like breathing exercises, meditation, yoga, going to the gym, running, swimming, skipping, whatever it is. And the great thing about exercise is that when you exercise, it activates or it heightens the activity in your prefrontal cortex. And this part of our brain is the executive part of our brain. This is where we make a lot of decisions from. This is where we analyze and crunch data from and just make sense of a lot of things. So you want to do yourself a favor and really start implementing exercise into your life each and every day, even if it's a 10 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour, whatever it is, whatever suits you, start implementing exercise into your life, because that is a massive positive habit that a good 90 to 95% of the super high achievers are implementing into their life each and every day. So the third habit is goal setting and visualization. And goal setting is like, you learn this throughout school. You got to set goals. And look, goals are good for short-term achievements. Okay. So you set them out. I'm going to hit this month, and this, 6 months from now, I'm going to hit this on this date. That's cool. And you set it out and you take the action and you do it. But what is more important is casting your vision. Like, where do you want to be in the next, year, in the next 2 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years? Okay. You really want direction in your life. You want to get crystal clear on how you're going to get there. It's like saying, you're in New York and you want to get to San Francisco, and then you plug into your GPS that you want to get to California. Okay. And when you drive down from New York to California, it's a long drive, but when you drive down from New York to California and you get there and you find that you arrive in Los Angeles, you're in the wrong place. Okay. You're not going to be very happy because you're in the wrong place. You didn't quite get to San Francisco, which is on the other side of California. So what I'm saying is you need to be crystal clear on how you're going to get there, right? Plug it into your internal GPS, where you need to go and how you're going to get there. Focus on the what you need to do, and the how will come about along the way. You'll start working that out, all right? So set out your goals. You want to visualize. Visualization is absolutely powerful. They've shown on, lots of studies and deep research that when you start visualizing each and every day on the person you want to become, on the activity that you want to put the action into, and that what you want to achieve, your brain starts reconfiguring itself for you to be able to take on that task, for you to be able to be the person that you want to become, that you will become. It's amazing. The brain is amazing. I love neuroscience and, all the research that goes into to the brain. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to shoot another video on amazing things that I've discovered through interviewing, neuroscientists and doctors and health experts. It's crazy. Okay. So goal setting, visualization, it's a must. All right. Then you've got habit number 4, which is super powerful. It's gratitudes and positive self-talk. And the reason why you want to practice gratitudes is because when you practice the art of gratitude and appreciation, you realize that you have a lot of amazing things in your life. Like we all do. This is an amazing world. Okay. And everyone has their ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster sometimes for some people. Sometimes it lasts a little bit longer than it should for some. But at some point in our life, if you've lived long enough, you would have at least experienced some amazing things. You would have some amazing people around you and amazing events that have happened in your life. So it's always good to go back to that and remind yourself that you have some things going on, that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There are amazing things, and you can create more amazing things in your life, that you are abundant and that you can have more in your life. All right. So that is a great thing to practice. They're super powerful. You want to be in that state of gratitude. You can do a lot of things in your life if you're grateful for what you have and where you can be. You just grow so much as a person. So speaking about growing so much as a person, habit number 5 is self-development. Okay, that's a huge one. This is a huge one for me. I'm all about growth, about becoming more of yourself, stepping into your greatness. Okay, and this is something that 100% of the super high achievers have implemented into their life. They've all at least read a book once in their life, at least. Some have read hundreds. They've at least gone to coaching sessions, or gone to events, or watched a video, or listened to an audio. I mean, self-development is part of every super high achiever's life. It just becomes part of them. They want to grow and become more. And if you look at it this way, if you read around 20 full pages from a book each day, or listen to an hour of a podcast each day, that's roughly around about 36 books on average a year. Okay, so that's incredible. That's an amazing amount of information that you can absorb in a small amount of time. So you have no excuse. There's YouTube videos out there if you want to learn new skills. Listen to the greats. There's Audible. You can download audiobooks. There's so many things that you can do. You have no excuses now to not self-develop. All right. So habit number 6 is networking, expanding your network. Okay. And the action steps that a lot of these successful people take is that they make it a rule for them to at least meet at least 1 or 2 new people a week, and to expand their network, to collaborate with new companies and new business opportunities, and to align some of their friends with others that they meet and bring people into their circle. That is a huge one. That is definitely a massive part of success. You can grow together, and those that go together grow together. Okay, so that is number 6, habit number 6. And the final habit number 7, which is the nail in the coffin. This is the one that really seals the deal. It's played a huge part in my life, is meetings and accountability sessions or accountability calls. Okay, so that may mean like having a mentor or a coach or somebody you look up to, or somebody on your level, or even someone that you're mentoring or coaching, and catching up with them at least once a week for a coffee date where you sit down, chat with each other about what direction you're heading in, recapping on the last week, and also sharing your takeaways with each other and really holding each other accountable. That is an absolute huge thing that most of the high achievers have implemented into their life. Alrighty, so they're the 7 habits. One habit that I can say has absolutely just changed my whole world, it would have to be meditation. And you probably hear this 100 million times. I had the amazing opportunity to interview Deepak Chopra a few weeks back, and Deepak told me something that really just kind of solidified it in my mind that meditation is the right thing to do. He said that meditation is almost 2 times more powerful than sleeping. Okay? That means that 20 minutes of meditation is almost equal to 40 minutes of sleep. And they've done studies on meditation, the activity that goes on in your brain, and the recovery, and the amazing things that are happening inside your head while you're meditating cannot happen while you sleep or while you're awake. Okay, so this puts you into a completely different state. It does a lot of amazing things to your body. So if you at least implement meditation and maybe a couple other habits, your world is going to absolutely transform, and it's just going to take off. So anyway, that's the $7 million habits. Thank you so much for listening to me today. And if you haven't already, head over to addicted2success.com. That's addicted, the number 2success.com. And check out the information that we have there. We're all about self-development, all about motivation, inspiration, and becoming a bigger and better person and sharing that with the world. So thank you so much for tuning in today, and all the best. Run and rule the day, make the most of your life, and live it up. Thank you.